The building dates back to the 1850s, and what it is a significant, I think would be described as a freight transport interchange, where goods from northern England, such as fish, coal and grain, were brought down on the railways and delivered to all of these warehouses and train sheds here, and then distributed onto the canal, which is near here, the Regent's Canal, and horse and cart around London. So while passengers went into the train stations nearby, King's Cross and St Pancras, this is where all of the food and stores and so on came into London as well. So that's its history. In recent times, fallen into, to a degree, dilapidation and disrepair, and just used for warehousing and closed off to the public for many, many years. First of all was finding an occupier who could fit the building, and what we have here is the university, an arts university. In terms of the actual building itself, it was really trying to understand the asset. There were very limited records around it, and we did in time come across all sorts of discoveries, such as large amounts of asbestos, and trying to work up designs and plans for something which is Grade 2 listed as well. So trying to balance the need to insert new requirements, things that will functionally meet the need of a working university, alongside respecting all of the heritage which was there previously. Well, originally in front of the building here there was a significant inlet from the canal, so you would have seen barges coming in here and actually going underneath the building. And when we thought about bringing this back into use again and regenerating the area, that was something that we could have done, but instead we went for these fountains. And the key thing was here, we wanted the water, but we also wanted the ability to turn it off, because it is a fabulous space to use for events and so on as well. So the thinking here was to have something which can, such as today, be quite animated, but on other days can be turned off, used for events, and give us the flexibility that we were after. And indeed, we've hosted events here with several thousand people. This building itself, the Granary building, is an interesting structure. It doesn't actually have any bolts in it holding together the superstructure. So it's all kind of based on gravity. And when our engineers and the engineering team, the design team, were looking at it, they obviously had to really try and be very sure in their own mind that actually any modifications they were making to it as well wouldn't upset the way in which it had originally been intended to be designed. And that's on this building here. And we made some significant interventions, such as cutting quite a large atria or light well in the centre of the building, because it was originally a grain store and not really intended for anyone to actually occupy it on a day-to-day basis, so very little natural light. And then when we went behind this building here and we go into these new purpose-built studio buildings for the university, again, different things came into play there. There's a lovely covered space in there, which is actually external space, but what we tried to do is we wanted to improve the environment for students, and rather it being rather cold, we came up with a system of recycling the waste heat from all of the new studio buildings to mean that the inside or the internal temperature of the street is no less than about 10 degrees in the worst case. So it's always a nice sort of ambient environment. I think it's a wonderful achievement. I'm really excited about it. The thing that gives me greatest pleasure is seeing all of the students and the staff, and there's over 4,000 of them, coming in on a daily basis and actually enjoying it and using it and seeing how it functions, that actually the environment within there is, it's not particularly too hot or too cold, and they can do what they wanted to do, and create all these pieces of art and so on within this framework, which they probably don't give a second thought about half the time, but just seeing that it does work really, really well. And it's to see something which was once upon a time rather a sad bit of London around here, completely rejuvenated and come back into life again.